Good morning. Our first issue is uniform minimum corporate tax. Recently, G7 countries they have met. These are industrialized countries. They have agreed for this particular tax agreement. There are MNCs which are paying taxes in one jurisdiction, but most of their operations are in other jurisdiction. We call them as cross border tax loopholes. And there is this particular word that is called race to bottom on corporate taxes. That means to attract the investment, countries try to decrease the corporate taxes. That's called race to bottom. So, as a result, many countries have reduced the corporate taxes substantially. Some of them can be called as tax havens, also, very minimal taxes or zero taxes. This has led to base erosion and profit shifting. That means a company is gaining profits in a country, but as it is registered in another country, it is taking the profits to there. That is leading to reduction in the tax base erosion, profit shifting. That's why these countries have agreed for minimum corporate tax of 15%, and companies have to pay where it operates or where they operate. This is more significant, especially in the digital world. OECD, that is Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, it has started the two-pillar negotiations recently, which include these two only: base erosion and profit shifting, and going for a minimum tax. How is it advantageous to India? India every year forgoes $10 billion annually. The tax income forgo is $10 billion because of the tax havens and base erosion, profit shifting. Next issue is FATF Pakistan. Financial Action Task Force, which has 39 members. India is a member, Pakistan is not a member. It has 39 members. This particular group has placed Pakistan in the grey list. Grey list means they are compromising the integrity of the financial system. We are giving warning. Grey list means warning. So once if it is not heeding to this particular warning, it will place it in the blacklist. When it is placed in the blacklist, it becomes most difficult to get the loans, foreign investments, etc. Now Pakistan is placed under grey list. FATF has asked it to take certain measures. Next issue is India, China, Russia, USA's relationship. Quad grouping, that is USA, Japan, Australia, India. These formed a group, security group called Quad grouping. Quad grouping has been criticized by China explicitly saying that it is created to counter it. And Russia also indirectly said that a group cannot be created to counter some other country. And there are LAC issues, border issue between India and China. India-Russia strategic cooperation agreements are there. But then China and Russia, they are moving closely. Hong Kong protests. China has been severely criticized by USA. That means these four countries, these two are forming a kind of grouping. And these two, USA and India, seem to be much closer as compared to the previous days. But this should not compromise the relationship between Russia and India and China also. We are neighbors. There is no other alternative. So we should move forward. We should not antagonize or we should not make enemies out of them. Next issue is carbon capture. Carbon capture means excessive carbon emissions in the atmosphere need to be sequestered, means absorbed through various technologies. In general, nature itself absorbs, through oceans absorbs, trees they absorb the carbon. But here we are talking about artificially capture the carbon, store it. This will reduce the climate change and its negative impacts, and the stored carbon can be used economically. Let's say to manufacture plastics, etc. We can use them. So carbon capture technologies on that investments need to be there. Carbon sequestration methods need to be innovated. Next issue is dealing the COVID-19 and the multiple waves and variants of it. This week, test positivity rates are coming down. Delta variant, which is declared as one of the variant of concerns by WHO. Because of this, the mortality rates are high in the second wave in India. There are possibilities for multiple outbreaks and variants. In that context, what measures should we take? Rapid vaccination as per the age pyramid. Age pyramid means in India, 40% of people are below 18 years. So as of now, vaccines are available for the age group 18 and above. So we should prioritize that. And bottom up approach in micro planning needs to be there because see India is known for its vaccination plans, pulse polio. We have micro plannings that need to be implemented for COVID 19 also. We should build up the test capabilities. We should gather data of vaccines and its impact over various variants. We should go for surveillance. We should also go for epidemiological and genomic investigations. And this is the urgent need, that is to bridge the rural urban gaps in testing, in providing medical facilities, in vaccinations, etc. This will provide a roadmap for us in dealing with the multiple waves. Next issue is biomedical waste. Recently, State of India's Environment Report, which is released by CSE, that is Center for Science and Environment, it has highlighted that in the second wave, the biomedical waste generation has increased manifold, and government should take proper measure to the disposal of biomedical waste. We have biomedical waste management rules 2016. Under that, the originator, that means the hospital or research lab, whatever it is, the originator should take the responsibility for the proper disposal of biomedical waste. Otherwise, it will create a disaster again. Next issue is Colombo Port City project of Sri Lanka. Recently, the Sri Lankan Parliament has passed Colombo Port City Economic Commission Bill. Colombo Port City is an artificial island which is reclaimed. It's called reclaimed land. It's built near Colombo Port. Sri Lanka is conceiving it as a financial hub similar to Singapore, etc. And China's influence is there. China is building it up. It has the stake in it. Already China controls significant stake in the Colombo port. Hambantota, entire port of Hambantota is given as a lease for 99 years to China because Sri Lanka was unable to repay the debt, so it has given it on a lease for 99 years. That means most of the port infrastructure is under the control of China. That's a concern. That's why opposition parties are criticizing this particular move. And India also has concerns because Sri Lanka is at this strategic location. If China has the control over it, as of now, we are enjoying the exclusive control of the Indian Ocean region. There is a theory called string of pearls, under which China is trying to control many of the ports in the India's neighbors. So that's a concern for India. Next issue is indemnity clause. Indemnity means exemptions from the adverse effect. As of now, Indian drug laws, there are no provisions for indemnity clause. But there is this particular act called Indian Contracts Act. Under that, government, when it makes a contract with any company, it can go for indemnity clause. So now the foreign vaccine manufacturers like Pfizer and Moderna, they are seeking for indemnity clause. This is not new. In general, whenever we make contracts, they seek some contractual obligations. This is one among them. As of now, we have not given any indemnity clause to any of the vaccine manufacturers, domestic manufacturers. Recently, Serum Institute of India also has demanded that if you are giving indemnity clause to them, you have to give it to us also. That's the demand of Serum Institute of India. What would be the impact of this indemnity clause? This will transfer the risk to the government. In case of any adverse event, people will ask government. But then the positive is it can negotiate. Government can negotiate with these manufacturers as it is producing on bulk. It can negotiate for low cost. Otherwise, if there is no indemnity clause, the manufacturers, vaccine manufacturers, they might charge more to recover the losses. Next issue is digital services tax. USTR's special 301 report, it has mentioned that digital services tax from many countries, including India's digital services tax, is discriminatory. India has introduced digital services tax And it said that as the digital services are provided in India, they have to pay some tax in India. So that's why in the last year's budget we introduced digital services tax of 2%. Overall, whatever digital services are there, including e-commerce services, they have to pay 2% of revenues as tax in India. Now USA said we are going to impose the retaliatory tariffs, but then they have reversed this particular decision because of this. They are in negotiations with the taxation. That's why they have taken that back. Next issue is BRICS and challenges. BRICS as a group was formed in 2006. BRICS means Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. These groupings, they are following contradictory policies. For example, BRI, Belt and Road Initiative of China. Russia is not part of it, India is not part of it, India criticizes it, and Quad grouping, where India is member. Russia and China criticize it. And Russia and China are members of UNSC, but others are not. We are seeking for reforms, but they're not supporting us. And then border issues are there between India and China. These are some of the challenges this particular group is facing. All the very best. Thank you very much.